welcome to the Two Dudes Talk Music YouTube channel. I am the Reverend Raff.
We did it, we made it.
Because when a band's name starts being everywhere, it can be very easy to go like, okay, like.
Just because I know what it's like to feel left out and to feel like people are weird or mean to you, and so I never want to be that person, and I want...
This here is my good friend Kyle, aka the BeerBuddy.
Big opportunity. You guys must be stoked you're on the first day too, because you can just sort of shoot. Yeah, you can just relax.
Brian was sitting down with his longtime friend and his former bandmate Meegs from Cold Chamber, and they were having coffee, and Brian was...
When those questions go, those hearty chuckles.
You know what that laughter says to me is like, people don't even know what's coming. People just are going to be minds are going to be blown by that.
No, it will be a fucking banger.
What's going on, everybody? I am the Reverend Raff, joined once again by my good friend Kyle, aka the BeerBuddy.
What's going on, everybody?
We are the Two Dudes Who Talk Music, and we are back today with another thrilling podcast episode for you guys. But before we dive into that, I just want to give a mad shout out to our Patreon subscribers. Yeah. You guys are absolute legends, giving a little bit of your hard-earned money every single month to help support us. As you may know, if you're over on the Patreon, you get the videos early and ad-free, which is, just a little bit of a thing. We are planning to try and start doing some more exclusive content. Let us know what type of content would entice you over to the Patreon if that's something you're keen for. But yes, I do have to give a shout out to our absolutely amazing people. So we have, go away, community chats. Go, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm just audience. That's what I wanted. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ, this website's a fucking mess. Right, yes. So massive shout outs to our Patreon subscribers. We have Taresk, Dead Set Legend. Thank you so much for that. We got Tim. Love your work, Tim. Old Blue Eyes. Aussie Brad Pitt.
Yes, the man.
And then last of all, we've got, he's not this one. He's not that one. He is the other one. Thank you very, very much to you guys.
Thank you so much.
It means so much to us that you give a few bucks every month to help us keep this thing going. You guys are absolutely incredible. I think once we do start doing, if we do ever introduce some new tiers of Patreon, you guys will be like legacied into whatever the highest tier is.
Yeah, 100%.
But for now, like, we're not planning on bringing any new tiers in or anything like that, guys. You guys are absolutely incredible. And we promise it is our absolute pledge to you guys to keep the price of the Patreon as low as possible for as long as possible, because, we know shit's tight. So if you're interested, you can head on over there. There'll be a link down in the description, and you can look at subscribing there. If not, that's totally fine. We fully appreciate you watching anyway. But mate, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Next good. Looking forward to actually going back to work and being functional again.
Yeah,
How's good.
How much longer
So
you?
yeah, probably another. What is it? Another 8 weeks, 7 weeks left, and I should be back at work. So yeah. Other than that, not just cruising, bro. How about you?
Amazing. Yeah, look, I'm doing all right. Hopefully, by the time this video goes out, I still have a house. With the tropical cyclone's bearing down as we're recording this. Should be fine. I'm prepared. I'm on pretty high ground. Don't worry too much about me. I should be perfectly all right. If there is anything that's going to disrupt the scheduling videos, we'll put a post up and let you guys know. But should be fine. I'm pretty well prepared. I think I'm going to be all right. I realized though that I forgot to show the T-shirts I got at Knotfest.
You got
in the video we covered. In the video that we covered, I forgot to get the T-shirts. I did talk about what I got, but I forgot to show it to you guys. So I thought I'd bring it in today and show you guys what we got.
Show and tell.
We got the Baby Metal shirt.
That is a cool fucking shirt.
They
did like a little Powerpuff Girl thing.
Yep. And on the back with the Australian tour dates on there.
That is so cool.
Which is awesome. That's really, really cool. I like that shirt.
Good print too. Really cool print.
Yeah. And then we got the Hatebreed one. So this is a Knotfest exclusive one. Knotfest Australia 2025. And on the back, I survived the ball of death at Knotfest Australia 2025.
Yeah, nice.
So that's great work. I'm good. That one's going to become a cutoff. I'm going to chop the sleeves off of that one. Nice. But yeah, so that's the merch I had going on there. Work's pretty fucking hectic, but it is what it is. If you haven't checked out our Knotfest video, go and check it out. I've got a little bit of footage of almost every band, a little bit of a chat about how the day was. Short version, I think it was incredible. I think it was really, really good. All the bands did amazing, and it may very well be the best live set I've ever seen from Slipknot in my life. So there you go. That's my summary for you. But yeah, we have a really, really cool band today. Really, really cool band. So you saw these guys a little while ago, right?
Yeah, Ram It Down was when I first caught him, and then I caught him again a couple of weeks ago just before my surgery at the Mosh Pit Bar in Newtown, and the improvement's just been through the roof. They are just an awesome bunch of dudes. They're an awesome punk band. It's so refreshing to see. Yeah, just a bit of that larrikanness comes straight out, especially like you guys got it in droves up in Queensland with bands like Chamberlain and you know
I was going to say Chamberlain it reminds me a little bit there, but I mean to call these guys a punk band is almost doing a disservice, right? Like they very much color outside the lines on genre and just kind of do a lot of whatever the fuck they feel like. But it's just really cool stuff, really, really well worth checking out. We're going to dive into it now. With our guests, we've got Rowan and Josh from Fist. Big thank you to Josh and Rowan for joining us today from Fist. I feel like that's how it has to be pronounced. You got to put the.
It's an exclamation point, so it's Fist.
Right. Okay. So yes, thank you very, very much, guys, for joining us today. Very much appreciated. For those who maybe aren't really familiar with you guys and what you do, what's a little bit of the history and the I guess the elevator pitch for the band to help people get a sense about what you guys are all about?
Yeah, man. We started playing together, me and Josh, back in high school. Put on a bunch of like DIY shows in our little town near Newcastle, Nelson Bay. And yeah, like after ages and ages and ages of doing that, we're like, should we actually do like a band properly at some point? So instead of doing that, we started Fist. We've been enjoying that ever since, man. Like it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, because I mean, like Kyle was mentioned to you guys and was like, yeah, this is who we're gonna get on. I'm like, sweet, I'll check it out, and love it. I love it. I love it. I love what you guys are doing. The I think larrikin energy is probably a good description. Just purely out to make music and have fun, I think is just the biggest kind of takeaways I get straight away. The sort of mix stylistically that you guys engage, and you just kind of like, fucking whatever. We want to put a bit of a heavier bit here, a bit of a funkier bit here. Like we just kind of whatever have just keeping that the vibe light and having fun with it that's what it's all about as far as I'm concerned. Totally. If you're not fulfilling that brief before anything else, I just don't see it working. I just don't see things working if you're not fulfilling that brief. So I was reading on the EPK you guys have got on your website, and by the way, like really nice website too. Like you guys have got a really good setup there. It's very very schmick, very like very professional looking. You got the whole setup there. It all flows. It looks really really good. It works really well. More than a lot of bands have, which is great. So since June 2023. 70 gigs.
Yeah, so that's including like private parties that we do because we have a lot of birthdays, we have a lot of mates, and we have a lot of like somehow fans that actually want us to like come and hang out at their house and stuff. Because like they're cool people, we're cool people. Mm-hmm. Well, we're not, but they are. And no, it's good stuff. 70 shows since our first one in June 2023. It's been massive. It's been so much fun.
I didn't realize we were up to that high of a number yet.
When did I see you guys at Ram It Down?
That would have
been August, September? It was warm.
February of 2024.
Okay. Okay,
Feel
so not
trapped.
too far. Okay, there you go. And the amount of improvement that I've seen from there to the last show I saw you at is just I was hooked when I first saw these guys at Ramp It Down. I was just like, yeah, I love these guys. They knew what I'm all about. I know what they're all about. I love it.
And so I mean, that's that many shows and that short of a time is absolutely going to hone your live abilities to absolute like fine fucking craft. Like you've got to be it. You're not playing that many shows if you're, you know, not able to set your shit up quickly and have it taken off. You know, tear it down quickly and be on time and play the set to the right length and do all that sort of, you know, the shit that some bands that have been playing together for 10 years can't even fucking seem to do. And I mean, a lot of the, you know, that many live shows, you're obviously things like, you know, your stage banter, how you're moving around on stage and engaging with the audience, how you're doing all this sort of stuff. Like that is, you know, that many gigs in that short of time. It's really got to be bringing that together really quickly for you guys. And I feel like for a band, and obviously, you know, this is just for this band, like you've got a lot of experience playing together and, you know, doing gigs with other things like prior to this group. So, I mean, yeah, it just seems like what I'm seeing from you guys is in a very short space of time, you're just blowing the doors off and you're like, we just want to get as many gigs under the belt as we can to really refine what you guys do in that setting. And that is, you know, something that bands can get afraid to do. You know, bands can be afraid of saturating the market. And I'm like, look, if you're selling 5 tickets to your shows, you don't have to worry about saturating the market, okay?
Yeah, that's true.
Get out there and play as many shows as you fucking can to get the chops under your belt.
We made a point of really like figuring out what works and what doesn't, because I record every show, even just off my phone. So I've got the crowd and us, and Rowan doesn't like to watch them back because everybody hates watching themselves. But I always watch them back and let the guys know, like, hey, this worked, this didn't. Because sometimes, you know, in the heat of the moment, you don't remember everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then so we watch them back and we're like, oh, the crowd has really responded to this, or like that joke fell completely fucking flat. So it's like, okay, we don't do that shit. Like, we see with the songs as they ebb and flow, how the crowd responds. And we've just really I've really analyzed that one and let the boys know like what works. And it helps big time to like properly revise and fucking review the stuff that you've done to figure out what works and what doesn't.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
totally.
It just goes to show you the reason why you guys have improved so much in such a short amount of time, why you just smashing it.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on what Josh said, like it's not just the analyzation, everything. Like we're still going off the cuff. Like we don't have pre-prepared bits. It's all like it's all improv, except for like some parts of the songs we don't improv. But yeah, like so as much as we do like strip back and like really try to figure out, you know, what works and what doesn't. Like we're still out there and having fun. Like it's not all business. You know what I mean?
Every joke we've ever pre-planned has fucking died straight.
They suck.
You can't plan them.
And then I'll say this, and then everyone will die, and that was bad. And then you do it, and no one dies.
Pause for laughter. You know? But that's really good though, and that's absolutely something that, again, you know, bands need to take on board. Like when, you know, about 20 years ago, I studied music at TAFE. This is back when I still lived in New South Wales, and you know, part of that was you'd have the performances, and they would film the performances, and you'd watch them back, and you'd have to analyze it, and you know, there's so much and that was the first time I'd really, you know, performed like publicly was when I was doing that, you know, and you learn the amount that you learn, especially in those first instances of watching it back. You're like, in your head, you thought something looked a certain way, but when you watch it back, you're like, oh no, that didn't look like that at all. So it's an amazing tool for that. It really, really is. But other reason that it's worthwhile recording all of your shows, which is so easy to do these days because everyone's got a phone and you just need to get a fucking like amount that you can put on the thing and then you're fine, right? It's a footage library.
We clip them all the time for like we'll always take little funny bits that we don't even realize something happened. And it's like Rowan said something, the whole crowd laughs. And it's like, oh fuck, there's a Facebook post, there's an Insta thing. Like,
Content game. It helps with the content game, and then down the road, if you want to put a clip together of like a film clip together based of like live clips though, from whatever or stuff from on the road or any of that sort of stuff, you've got a bank of footage there. I've since probably about 10, 11 years ago, something like that. Whatever, I was joining a new band around that time, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm getting a GoPro. And I made a point, like, regularly filming rehearsals, trying to film some angle on every gig, whether it was my bass or putting it on the drum kit or putting it on the guitarist's fucking thing or whatever, just so we could start getting a library of footage. And it makes so much difference just having that there.
Yeah.
And as we move more and more into the content-based and algorithm-based social media promotion methods, which, let's be honest, I don't think anyone really likes them. But it's the game that you have to play with it, and having someone that can do that and reviews all of that footage, like fucking that many shows too. That's a lot of footage to review. So that's respect right there, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, that's the thing. If you review it all straight away and sift through all the shit, it's done. Last thing you want to do is go through I'll work on that in 6 months' time, and then 6 months' time you've got like 30 shows to look after.
I don't mind because I always need something new to masturbate to, but the boys don't like it as much.
No.
No, man, I'm coming around on watching the stuff. Like, because I've been doing it for so long now. It's like, when I was doing my radio show and stuff, I did all the editing, and you just get used to hearing your own voice. But I have terminal, what do I do with my hands?
You play bass.
Yeah.
So, like, watching it back, like, it's getting easier as I figure out what I'm naturally doing with my hands. And I think I'm going to leave them up for the rest of the interview.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. I would be more worried if I saw a lot of this going on in the shot.
But yeah, so like, at the end, the self-analysis thing is so important, and it's definitely something that people across the whole spectrum really need to look at taking on board. But
Well, it changes the whole thing, because nobody's a bigger critic than yourself, and you're never going to criticize yourself properly unless you can actually sit there and look back on and actually have it in your head that, no, I don't want to do something like that again. And you won't do it again on the next show because you've actually physically seen it look bad.
Yeah, and being honest with yourself about it, like
Self-aware, man.
just because one thing failed and you didn't sound that great doesn't mean that like your day's ruined or anything. It's like, well, I fucked that up. Fucking
exactly.
Aware of that next time and move on.
Yeah, it's about self-critique, not about being self-critical, which is what's important. There's so often that word critique, people just because it's the same, because it shares that the root language with critical, you're like, well, they think critique means critical. No, it doesn't. You have to be able to analyze and be self-aware, as Kyle said, and you have to be able to critique your own performances and see where you can improve. That was one of the, like throwing back again to when I mentioned, they're recording our stuff when I was at TAFE, like we did that. And the first thing that was said to me by the performance teacher was, turns around and says to, looks me in the eyes and goes, "You're not as good as you think you are." That's the first thing he fucking said to any of us after watching that back. And but for me, that was a wake up call, because I'm like, fuck. I'm like, okay, I need to take stock of what I'm doing and how I'm approaching my instrument and what I'm trying to do on stage and what I want to bring to the group dynamic. And it just was such a stark shift in my mindset. And since then, I've focused on a lot of elements, and the way I describe it is prior to that, I had been playing bass like a failed guitarist, And then after that, I started learning how to be a bass player. And since then, so many people that I've jammed with or whatever, done various things with, they're like, fuck, like it's refreshing to play with a bass player that actually like plays bass. And it seems like such a stupid thing to fucking say, but underneath it, there are so many musicians that, you know, they don't know what they're trying to get out of their instrument, or they're trying to use it like, and not that there's necessarily a right or wrong way to play a lot of instruments, but because when you come down to it, yes, there's technique, but like fuck the rules, right? You know, some of the best.
That's when you end up getting Fifi Buffet.
Well, some of the best, you know, some of the most iconic things have come out of musicians not obeying the rules, like Fieldy's fucking stuff as well. Like everything he does is the opposite of what you're supposed to do for bass, and somehow it is like, you know,
Big.
and it's created this fucking iconic sound. Like Korn wouldn't sound the same without Fieldy's bass. It would be a completely different energy about it. But knowing you have to break the rules, you have to know the rules, I think, and to know when to, you know, you have to know what you're supposed to do, and you go, okay, do I want to do that, or do I want to do something different? And it just helps to, you know, be able to, you know, analyze yourself in that way, and really, you know, dial in for what you want to get out of it and what you're trying to achieve with it. But that's great. Like is that something that you've like done, like filming your performances and stuff, even from like when you were playing before Fist? Is that something that kind of goes back to prior to that?
It started a little bit prior, but it wasn't as what's the word? Like, we weren't as strict on like every show. Now it's like I will do every show.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I first started doing that, it brings the morale. Like often our drummer, straight after a show, he's like, "Oh, I played like shit. We sounded like shit. That was terrible." And we watch a little bit of it back, and then he's, "Oh, okay. It doesn't like that one time I missed a hi-hat, not even a snare. It's fine." Like, so it really helps for like boosting all that. So we just kept doing it, like, because can't hurt, and it's very helpful stuff.
Good. That's awesome. Like I love that sort of that approach to it. You know, there's a lot to be gained from that. And that sort of approach, I think, is why, you know, you guys are already have already got the momentum that you've got, and that sort of, and sticking to that is only going to just continue to get at. And like, you know, what was it? I'm just trying to think. It was a Speed.
Yeah.
They, you know, 4 years after forming, they were playing Knotfest, and they're touring all over the world, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of dedication and a little bit of luck, and you can have, you know, like we could be seeing Fist in those kind of places and those kind of opportunities in a few years' time. And I have, you know, no doubt that sort of dedication to what you guys are doing is exactly what's needed to achieve that. So I have, you know, immense respect to you guys for putting that sort of work in on that.
They just got the new single out too.
Yes. So it's dropped 2 singles in this year so far already. Is that right?
Yeah, and the album at the end of last year, which was the live uncut, Broke and Exhausted. Which was the live album's like a
Love loop. Oh, fuck, that's
live
like
uncut,
that.
broken, exhausted. Yeah,
Yeah.
that it's like a nice little like homage to the Blink 182 live album, I reckon, but an Aussie version.
That was probably that album I had on repeat. Like that was one of my first albums ever. The Tom Mark and Travis show. I take a lot of influence from that.
Well, I gotta ask, like a live, like being the first thing you release, being essentially a live album. What was the sort of the decision process behind that? Because it's a very unconventional way to approach your releases. Most people want to try and have something, you know, I want to get this like really polished and get these singles out there and do that. But, you know, not to say the album doesn't sound polished, but like it's a live album, so live albums are generally a little bit rougher, and, you know, what was the decision process there?
Do you want the actual answer or like the fun answer?
Both.
Give us both.
First
There's-
one, then t'other.
There's three reasons, really, I think. And that's
Yeah.
that we're poor musicians. So doing one full live one and getting that mixed was a lot cheaper to get a lot more songs out there.
It was
It acts as a
cheap.
preview for all the songs so we can see what's sort of hitting a bit better and what works a bit better throughout for whoever's listening, so we can focus on getting those more like listened to ones recorded first, like professionally. And live, the few times we've gotten stuff recorded before, it just takes away a lot of our vibe. And like you said, we've got that Tom, Mark, and Travis thing. So it was like a live album will hopefully really show what our shows are about.
Cool.
And so it gives everyone a chance to listen to our shit while we go back into the studio and try to save a little bit more money mainly because we're broke.
No, it's a great representation. Like, if you want to know what you're going to go get at a fish show, listen to that album, because it's pretty much on the nose to exactly what you're going to get. It's just you get the visual experience with it.
And nobody else was really doing it. Nobody else does it for their first sort of thing. Like,
Yeah. Ultimately, I think we just kind of thought that it was a funny idea for our very first thing that we release. Like, besides the demo, which we obviously have on Spotify. But yeah, like just a live album of this totally unknown band. And because yeah, that tickles me. I get a little chuckle out of that. And yeah, if we're talking about, representing who we are and what we're about, like at the end of the day, we're a live band. So why would we go into the studio and give people hope to hear something good when they can hear the real deal on a live album?
Yep.
And you know what? I mean, you mentioned, Josh, you mentioned something that I think is really, really important, which is you're capturing the vibe. Because I cannot tell you the amount of bands that I've seen in live settings that they've absolutely blown me away. I see them live and I'm like, these guys are fucking incredible. They've just got this excitement and energy about them. And then I buy the EP or I find them online and I listen to it and it just doesn't capture the vibe. It just doesn't capture that same energy. And it's, and I'm sure that with the right budget and production and whatever, that you'd be able to capture it. But obviously people have, budgets are a thing and people's, finances are a factor, and people go with, the people they go with partly for cost related reasons at this level of the game. And that's so I think that's such a smart decision on that front. Because you do, you obviously you've sort of recorded multi-track and then got someone to mix and master it from there, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Which is great because it really does give you the opportunity to get that energy out there, and what you guys are about, which is for a band that seems to be, from what I can gather at least, the idea is, this is a band you want to go and see live to have the most fun with it. This is where you want to get the fun experience out of that, and that's what is, you're trying to. That's where I think your appeal is going to be in the long run. A little bit like when King Parrot first showed up on the scene, and they were kind of renowned for the intensity of their live shows.
Yeah.
I think a similar thing with you guys. It's going to be like, oh fuck, these guys are like really fun and entertaining and exciting, and it's just a good time at the shows. Let's fucking go, and that's what's going to shift tickets. So for the live album based on that is great fucking move.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and
you found the perfect. Go, Rowan. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, you go first, Kyle. I can jump in at this point at any time.
Oh, I was going to say, no, it's a great way to stand out in a saturated market, especially in Australia, because the whole indie punk sort of vibe is so prevalent and big in Australia. Doing a live album and making it funny as hell, that's the best way to stand out.
Yeah, and it's very us as well. Like, being in a band is one of the silliest things you can do. Like, just conceptually. Like, I could have a job instead. So like, yeah, why not make it sound as fun as it is and make it as
Yep.
silly as it is? Because that's just who we are. And just what Josh was saying before about, and this is another reason why we sort of went at it this way is, yeah, because we've got um almost all, like definitely not all, but we've got a huge back catalog of stuff on Spotify now between that demo and the live album.
Mm.
And we get all the analytics on that. I pitched stuff from the live album, a bunch of places. We got a lot of good placement, a lot of good radio play. And we know which songs the industry likes. And because we've been playing different songs, Josh can back me up on this. We've chopped and changed the set list a million times. Like
Good.
it's different every night, but there's songs that we
Okay,
go.
Metallica, calm down.
Yeah, no,
don't
we're
do
playing
those
all of
songs
Saint
anymore.
Anger next.
Just
Oh,
bring the
yeah.
snare keg.
But
Yes.
but
We're
yeah, so
fixing
like
Saint Anger. We're gonna fix it.
don't give away the finale, Josh. But yeah, so basically what we're able to do is like, because we're road testing all these songs, we're seeing what actually works and what doesn't. Because it might sound good in rehearsal, it might sound good in the studio, and then you play to some people and they're like, we don't care. Or like
Or,
we play
or
it
it just
and go
kills
like,
the set. Like a slow song at the wrong time just kills the
Mm.
set. It's like, oh, that song sounds great. It's fun to play, but everybody leaves. So it's like, well, fuck it. We'll save it for the Spotify and not play it live.
yeah.
That's one that'll eventually turn into the cult classic that everyone resonates with later on, and then they'll get pissed that you don't play it live. It's like, you motherfuckers walk away every time we do.
I like that. So okay. So that. Look, incredibly smart decisions there. It really, really is. Like I've been playing music in some form or fashion for like 25 years now. I've been playing in bands for nearly 20, in groups and stuff for nearly 20 years. So I fucking hate
Sorry to
saying
hear
that.
that.
I hate saying that. But yeah, I know, wasted my fucking life. Just look at me. But
No.
No, we all
Never.
feel it.
but
Wouldn't
look,
have it any other way.
but genuinely, like, I don't think myself included, those are just the kind of ideas that people don't come up with. I would have never thought to make those decisions for that reasoning, because the music world I grew up in is just so different to how it is now. And for my own one of my own failings is, like, I've spent so long trapped in that past mentality of thinking about it. And to again, to your credit, like, no one else that I've worked with has come up with that idea either. So it definitely seems like, hang on, this might be something, and it just yeah. So a lot of props to you on that. Like, that's thinking outside the box, and that's a great example of, again, what we touched on before, of knowing what the rules are so you can break them.
Mm.
So really,
Yeah.
really great work there. And so, again, you've dropped a couple of singles real quick this year already. So I'm guessing those were some of the ones that were doing kind of good numbers on the release, and that are very, very popular live as well, get good reactions live. Is there more, like, can we expect some more sort of rapid fire single releases coming anytime soon?
Yeah, now we start
Yeah,
getting
dude.
into the good questions.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this, man. I've got, like, I could literally pull up the little document that I made that has like every release date that I want for every single, but we're trying to stick to one, like we're trying to do a single a month just forever.
Okay.
Like that's the promise that I want to make to myself. It's the promise that I want to make to people that listen to us. Is it it's exciting. It's fun. We just came off the back of some music video shoots. We did some shooting for the Dickhead film clip.
Yeah, nice.
How
I
much
got
are we allowed
covered.
to say about Sunday's filming?
No, I think we're allowed to talk about it now, but we don't want to distract from the current single out. That's Dickhead.
Oh, yeah,
on
yeah, yeah,
Spotify.
that's right. It's still Dickhead Month. Still Dickhead Month.
That's really good though, and that's that sort of waterfall release strategy, always having something
I love it.
in the algorithm, always having something new to share around, and depending on how you want to do it, you can theoretically even stagger the audio release from the film clip release, and then you've got every like 2 or 3 weeks there's something there. Always something new to post about, and always something new to tease. You can always have little clips coming out everywhere, so it's a really smart strategy, and keeping yourselves busy like that is a great way to maximize. Okay, so I'm a bit of a wrestling fan, right? I say a bit. I'm a massive
Nice.
fucking wrestling nerd. Like,
Sick.
and for
Sick,
those
sick.
of you, I don't know if you've seen the wrestling over the weekend, but the unthinkable happened.
John Cena finally turned heel.
Yes, John Cena finally turned heel
Yep.
after 20 plus years of being a good guy. Was literally doing, Make-A-Wish meetings hours beforehand. Anyway, back to think, but there's a thing in wrestling that they talk about called maximizing your minutes. And basically that concept is whether you are out there for 20 minutes, 25 minutes in the main event, or whether you're out there for 2 minutes for a squash match or a minute in a backstage promo, you do everything you can in that time to make the most of that opportunity. That's how you get over with the fans. That's how you gain popularity. That's how you have people talking about you, regardless of how little time you may or may not have been given on that particular event or show. And that's a concept that, like, I mean, WWE is not one of the biggest entertainment companies in the world for no fucking reason right now.
Yeah.
Like,
You're spot on.
taking the bombast and the sort of, I guess, like, when I say memishness, I don't necessarily mean in like a stupid way,
A negative way, but yeah.
Wrestling as a concept is inherently a bit silly, and
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
you
campy shit.
need to be able to embrace those elements, and that's something that I think you guys are leaning right into. You're like, fucking, I said it before, like, we're fucking like larrikins. We just like to be, we like to be dickheads. We like to be funny fuckers and silly cunts and joke around a lot, and that's what we do. That's bringing our energy to things, and that's how we're going to do it. And you're infusing that all through your music, and I have no doubt that the dickhead film clip is going to be hilarious.
Oh, I can't wait. Can we get a bit of an idea on what's...
Oh, look, man, I just today edited up some promo clips from the footage that we did over the weekend. I definitely have like parasites or something from some of that shit.
Oh, dude, you
Yeah.
have to keep us posted. You got to keep it posted. We're going to do a reaction to it.
Yeah. I'll send you some and you can splice it into the footage here. But yeah, and like, you're 100% right. I think that in terms of like, because bands are, obviously music's first. The music is the king. If the music sucks, there's no point in doing it. But like the vibe, the atmosphere, that's what keeps people hooked. But I think that you are spot on. I think there's a lot to be learned from like professional wrestling as a whole. I'm not like a massive wrestling nerd anymore. But like, if you're talking about, you've got your baby face, your heel turns like John Cena turned into a bad guy. Like, we played in a band called Fetal Position in the Bay. It was all songs about, fuck off back to Sydney. And our lead singer, Geordie, God rest his soul. He's still alive, but he doesn't do music.
Okay.
So he may as well be dead.
Might as well be dead. But that dude was one of the best heels you've ever seen on stage.
Okay. Yep.
Like, just telling the crowd to fuck off, like, the whole time. Like, really good presentation, and it's all part of like the like kayfabe of the whole thing. So like, yeah, that larrikin energy that we sort of bring, it's got nothing compared to Fetal Position. And that was like scary larrikin.
Oh, okay.
We're like fun, I hope.
That was like
approachable. No, you got
it was like the crackhead bogan energy, and then this is more the fun bogan energy.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Yeah, but like the crackhead bogan that's gonna help you move.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But
then
like,
still,
At their
help
heart,
you
they're
move,
a good
but
person,
then
but when they get on the gear, they're like fucking
help you move when you're packing your shit away. A couple of things are missing.
Okay, so are you guys planning to keep up the absolutely insane gigging pace this year?
Fuck no.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you going to be
No,
a bit
look,
more selective about the whole process now? And
yeah, pretty much. We got to a point, like by the end of the year. So in January, we went on tour for Kaboom. Our first single, we already had the tour booked, and one of the bands, Exotic Potion Cookies from up in Queensland, they're fucking great. They weren't able to make it on the co-headline tour. And we figured, oh well, we'll just move up the release date and run the tour. And we did what, the 4th, the 17th, the 18th, and 19th, and the 31st, something like that. From Brisbane to Canberra, Sydney, yeah, all over. And we got back and we're like, we don't have time to go into the studio.
oh
Yep.
yeah,
Or money
Like,
to make it to the studio.
even without like the money problems, which we all have, I can't afford fucking cheese.
Who can?
But um, like, yeah, we just don't have the time to be gigging every single weekend
Mm,
and also in the studio every single weekend.
yeah.
It's
there's not
just
enough weekends.
there's not enough weekends, and I've been saying that for years. I've been
Yeah,
emailing my member of parliament, make more weekends, and
exactly.
then I'll stop leaving the fire bombs outside your office. But
Make more
yeah,
weekends. That sounds like a good name for a song.
Yeah, I can already hear it. Make more weekends, you cunts.
Yeah. Okay. So a bit less gigging from you guys this year. A bit more focus on the studio, which is
yeah,
that's really cool. I think you've put a lot of work in over the last 18 months, 20 months or whatever, just going absolutely crazy on the gigging schedule. So I think you will have got um, a lot of good favor built up with the fans and the punters there. And, now you can take a breather so you can focus on other things. Then when you guys are ready to come back and hit the trail hard again, it'll be like, oh, yes, they're fucking back. And
Because everyone's going to be pissed that they haven't seen you in a while.
yeah, they'll
we
be
hope so.
wanting to see you guys again. But that's, this is the problem, right? Like we talked again, touched on it before, like the flooding the market thing versus, being scarce and, people can't miss you if you don't go away. Like, yeah, early on, you want to be playing as many gigs as you can take. It's just that simple. You want to get your name and get music in front of as many people as possible. Just that's how you get known. That's how you get in front of people. That's how you get the attention. And plus, it's just one of those things where like I said, you're working your chops. That's the real work, right? And I'm not trying to be one of these people that's like, like playing gigs is where the credibility's at. But
It's part of it.
it is an element of it, and I will always have respect for people that are out there busting their ass playing a shitload of gigs, because it's and not to be old man yells at cloud or anything, but it's how it used to be back in the day. Like if you wanted to get attention and you wanted to be people to take you seriously, you had to be busting your ass playing a lot of gigs. It's that simple. And a lot of the bands that have really blown up from Australia in the rock and metal scene over the last 10, 15 plus years, that's how they got their name. They were out there doing the stops on the roads. They were playing these they were going to the regional towns a fair bit. They were playing shows. They were getting out in front of all of these people who are you're going to be very dedicated fans because you've taken the time to come to their small town and play the show. It's how you win people over. Winning hearts and minds and all of that shit, right? So yeah, just like props to you guys for putting in that work. Like I'm too old to take that approach now. I'm just like fuck. I'm like fuck that. I got too many bills to pay and not enough time that I can take off of work.
We manage it one what is it, the probably one time a year now will be the the pilgrimage out to Metal to the Max.
Yeah, that's it. That's about the biggest fucking thing I do these days is the trip out to Broken Hill for Metal to the Max. But okay,
man, it's insane to see how well you guys have gone in the just last year. And yeah,
Oh,
how much
thanks, man.
improvement? Even getting to like the point, you guys run digital now, don't you? You guys run the innies now.
Yeah. That's been huge for us. Josh can tell you all
Yeah,
about that. Yeah.
That
yeah,
game changer because
yeah.
the shit talk, like the banter and stuff, but in our live shows, like you have one sort of like we've played plenty of venues where like we show up and like, who's the sound guy? And they're like, the
It's
sound
you.
desk is over there, plug your shit in. And it's like, okay, we're trying to run, good quality sound and have everything clear. There's no one there to do the job, or they just don't do it very well. So you don't have foldbacks. And it's like, the main thing for us is having that fun and that banter that we share on stage. And without the in-ears beforehand, it was always like we'd say a joke, and then the other, like I'd say something, and Rowan would look at me and be like, "Oh, what did he say? What did he say? What did he say?" And it would take too long to register because we can't hear much on
Something
stage.
said, not good.
Yeah, or if you laugh at the wrong joke, it's like, oh, that doesn't look good.
Oh,
Yeah. There was so many times where we just do that, like, yeah, sure, bud, like, and just hope that it covers it.
yeah,
And then
Yeah.
since getting the in-ears, like, we're able to speak to each other and like clearly hear what we're saying. Not to mention it makes your vocals a million times better having that instant feedback, like instead of having a foldback that you have to go, can I get a bit more? Because we got volume on our end and whatnot.
Yeah.
So we only ever run vocals through it. Like the rest of the sound we're fine with. Like if the bass is a bit quiet or whatever, like I'm still gonna be fine. Rowan's still gonna be fine if he can't hear my guitar. It's the vocals and the shit talking to each other that has been like could not recommend that for more than anything else. That has been one of the biggest things that's changed us completely. Like,
that's mad.
and it makes it easier for the sound guys not having to worry about foldbacks and like.
Yeah, you don't.
Backing
Yeah,
off
less
the
less risk about like vocals feeding back and all that sort of shit with
Yep.
the thing. You
Yeah.
just don't have to worry about that. It does make it a
And
lot easier.
they act as earplugs as well because we're
Yeah.
usually standing right next to a cymbal that's just fucking going in our ears.
And like what's really cool is, and like it's a little thing depending on the venue. We might just like say, "Oh, killed the fallbacks. We don't need them," and we can be boosted just that little bit louder as well. Or get more clarity. Like it's like little things like that you wouldn't necessarily notice, but like it's the subconscious shit, and like just noticing how easy it is to communicate for us is huge, huge.
Game changer.
Oh, I like it.
And it's relatively cheap these days to get some at least a rudimentary in-ear rig.
Yep.
It's for at least certain elements of it, like different bands are always going to prefer different ways of operating things, and that's totally fine. Like I've got working with some sort of in-ear setup has been a revelation for me. Like since being like, moved up from Sydney in 2020, and first band I was getting involved with, we didn't have an in-ear setup as such, but like our drummer was playing to a click, and that's the first time that I've been in a band where a drummer was playing to a click regularly, and it made such a huge difference in terms of how tight we were on stage. But then moving into playing with Nuclear Vision, I've got we got a full in-ear stage rack, in-ear rig, and everything now, and it's like we just run everything in there, take a split. The only thing not running through there is the drums. And we just take a split. Everyone gets an individual mix in our ears. We've got a click track running in there and everything, and it's just like it makes it so much easier because we just don't have to they don't have to worry about, like you say, don't have to worry about stage sound. We can have a quiet stage. Depending on what their setup is, we may not even be running to the amps on stage. So everything is front of house. Like if they want them running to the stage for some stage sound for the people stood at the very, very front, yeah, okay, cool. We still do that. But it does just make it so much easier for us because we don't have to worry about the sound guy going, oh, do you want a bit more of that or a bit less of this? They just focus on front of house. They just focus on front of house.
Do their job.
Yep. And because we've been doing it for a while, we've kind of got everyone's mixes, individual mixes dialed in. So, they can hear it and then they just control their own volume on their thing. The only problem I found with it though was we played at I can never remember the venue name. It always fucking escapes me. Mansfield Tavern up here, which is like a fairly sizable stage. When we played there for the Nu Metal Mayhem tour with fucking Waylon Revis from Mushroom Head and Anders Cole 70 when he was doing the original Slipknot album, like the Mate Feed Kill Repeat, was touring that. Like that stage is really fucking big. And so I had to keep turning the in-ears down so that I could hear the drums, still hear the fucking, hear what the drums are doing, because it was like that much space to run around in. But you know,
can't say I've ever had that.
it was look, we should, we were stoked to have that opportunity and be on that stage, obviously, but it was like, it's a big stage, physically just very big, you know, and that was just one of those elements there. But like in-ears, it's a great step to take these days, and I think if you can do it, I highly recommend it, because you're going to save yourself a lot of hassle. You're going to save sound guys. I mean, I'm sure some sound guys don't like it, because then they've got to worry about unplugging and replugging shit or whatever. But in terms of the amount of time it's going to save them, if they literally just have to unplug things and your snake is labeled at the end of what's what, they can just plug it into where they need to plug it into, and it's gravy, and then they ultimately save themselves time, because they don't have to faff about going, oh, do you need more of that in your fallback? What about you? What does the drummer need in theirs? Etc. So
one of those things where it's like, try and don't get the promoters, don't get the venues, get the sound engineers' email and try and send it to them. I know they're not always going to get through, because sound engineers are a fucking precious bunch and they don't always check the emails, but at least you made the effort, and you can say that you made the effort, and they kiss your ass after that.
Oh yeah, the amount of times where they've gone, yeah, send us your stage plots and your gear list so we can, your input list so we can be prepared, and then I send it to them and I get there and the sound guys are like, oh, do you guys have an in-ears thing? Yeah. Oh, okay. How do you run that? I'm like, fuck's sake.
Yeah.
I'm like, we did our part. Like,
we're just running, because we only run vocals through it, and we've got individual volumes on our person. Ours is one XLR out. That's it. One XLR. Just give me one channel out. Fucking, it doesn't even have to be XLR. We've got the little adapter. It can be a fucking a 1/4 inch if you want. But one XLR out and just run vocals, and if you can, a touch of reverb, and we'll be fucking sweet.
Yeah.
You've got both ends of the fist, the XLR fist or the 3/4 inch fist.
I got 3/4 inch fist on my Tinder bio.
Good man. You gotta make sure they know what they get into, right?
Well, it's so funny when they play live, they actually bring out fists on stage.
Fist dildos.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ended up with those over the last few months, all gifted to us generously.
They're expensive.
They're fucking expensive. We would never buy them ourselves, but if you want to mail me a
gifting
dildo.
you guys fist dildos.
Yeah. One of them came from our good mates Loose Surface. Awesome.
Yes.
Fucking Loose Surface.
They're
Jesus
getting
Christ.
around at the moment, man.
Dude,
they're getting around.
they're the best. They're the best.
Wow.
They
love
bought
do
those
love Loose
Italian
Surface.
fists for us. The big.
The-
It's actually surprisingly hard to find ones that are a full fist.
Yeah.
Like we do have one, but even the boys, Loose Surface, they said when they were looking for it, they went to every sex shop in Newcastle, and the only good one they could find was the big.
The fist fiddly.
Okay, this video is definitely getting demonetized now.
Well, I was going to anyway. The band's called
We do
Fist,
that.
mate. What do you expect?
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
I've been sitting here the whole fucking interview, Rowan, trying to work out who you look like, because it's been bugging me. I'm like, looks like someone, and I've fucking
Don't say
figured
early
it out.
Hatfield. It's not early.
No. Fucking Seth Rogen.
Dude, I got that once in my life, and I have never recovered.
Sorry.
Don't do this to me on like this
It's done.
thing that's going on the internet, bro. I'm gonna have to like
I'm sorry, but
I have to change my whole thing again and go into hiding.
Do the laugh. Do the laugh.
All right. Well, this interview's been great.
Oh, I'm just gonna start calling you Meth Rogan.
Shit.
Fuck.
Oh my God, what have I done? What have I done? I shouldn't.
That is so good.
I'm so sorry. I feel terrible for doing this to a fellow bass player. I did want to ask though, man, because like the style that you're playing in this stuff, it's very like all over the place in like the best way. Like you kind of you're doing like some bits you're doing slapping, some bits you're doing sort of like strumming almost in bits. You've got like you're just doing all sorts of different bass techniques with it. Is that you've just got a lot of different techniques and you're trying to have fun switching around them? Is that like a way to sort of challenge yourself?
Yeah, it's funny because for most of the time that me and Josh have been jamming together, I was one of those guys. You know those guys that like I'm a massive Cliff Burton fan, right? Obviously I am. Every bass player is.
Good man.
But it wasn't until like a few years ago that I'm like, oh, actually he does more than just play very fast with the fingers and nothing else. Yeah, I only just recently learned the that end lick of Anesthesia, that do 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 do. It's sick, it's awesome. It's all like tapped and like pinched harmonics, which are a cunt of a thing to do on bass.
Yes.
Which is why I slipped that lick one for one. I slipped like 2 Cliff Burton licks into Dickhead, into that solo because I just thought it was funny.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that solo, that fucking song again now. See if I can pick them out.
Oh, you'll pick them straight away now that you know that they're there. I got that one from Anesthesia, which is a cunt to play. So I learned how to do that, and now I will not stop trying to work those harmonics into everything.
I think every bass player has tried to learn, every metal or rock bass player has tried to learn that song at least once, and most of us have failed miserably. So
I did not know you could do a pitch harmonic on a bass.
Yeah,
They don't sound great. You should.
Fuck you.
Well, it doesn't go. It goes whoa.
But that's the kind of thing that you can do to give your shit a unique sound, right? Like you think about, I mean, less so for bass players, but you think about certain guitarists that have sort of signature signature elements to their playing in their sound, certain tools that they break out all the time, right? First example that comes to mind for me is I mean, Fieldy on his bass technique, but then like you look at someone like Zach Wilde, who, a lot of the time there's that low pitch harmonic with like the bend in it that he does, like that is in 90% of Black Label Society songs.
Yeah, that's just how Black Label sounds.
A
Kirk Hammett style, like wah fucking thing in the guitar solos.
Just drop it basically, but
even like you look at something like Machine Head with Rob Flynn's use of natural harmonics rather than artificial harmonics, and sort of the way he puts that into everything. Like their latest one, Unbound, we did a reaction to that, and it was like it was pure like OG Machine Head type fucking riffage in there. So yeah, it's the kind of thing that you can really, if you use it right and you're not like just doing it obnoxiously in literally every fucking second note that you're playing, can craft a unique and interesting sound that people will be like, oh, hang on, like even if they don't understand music, it kind of will stick in their mind, and they'll be like, this is something, we talk about this so often on the channel that people are probably sick of us mentioning it, but I'm going to mention it again, God damn it, which is making a lot of people, like if you're making music, you can make music for other musicians, or you can make music for the general public.
The punters. You
can make music for the punters, or you can make music for other musicians. And when you're making music for the punters, they don't need to know the intricacies of what you're doing and why what you're doing is enjoyable. All they need to know is that they like it, and that it sticks 100%. In their mind. And that is, they don't need to know that you've done some like really fucking fancy technique that's really difficult to work out on the bass. They don't care. All they know all they know is that it sounded cool and they want to hear it again. You know?
Yeah, and at the same time, like for the musicians, that's why I slip shit like that in, because like and we've all had it at shows where like, maybe the guitarist from like the other band comes up to you and it's like, I saw that and I thought it was funny. Whatever it was. Like
we make music for the punters, but we occasionally slip in jokes for the musicians.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like I've recently started just adding more effects to like trying to figure out where I can put more effects, because there's like a couple of songs where there's a measure or a couple of measures where I hit the phaser, and all it is hitting a phaser pedal, and watching the videos back like we do, the crowd goes nuts because the setting sounds funny, and it's like, well, fuck writing something good. I'm just gonna put stupid guitar effects over my shit because it makes people lose it.
Yeah, play the exact same with the funny effect, and everyone will lose their fucking mind.
Yep.
Because it's just that slight variation.
Simple tapping, and people go nuts.
Yep. Yeah. It's the same thing we say on here once again all the time. If you're going to do the same thing, just little differences, tape, like pulling away.
Every time you bring an idea around, it needs to be slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
You need to do something. You need to layer it slightly differently. You need to add something in, take something away.
Different timing.
Change a lyric up or change a phrasing or whatever. Like have an extra layer of guitar in there or something like that. Just every time an idea comes back around, it needs to be a little different from every other time you've heard it. And so I genuinely think, you guys are just, I really, really hope, and I think there's a good chance that in a few years' time, Fist is going to be one of those names that people will be like, Fist is coming to fucking play your town. You want to go and see that fucking show.
Yeah.
Because, I think look, obviously some of the song titles and lyrics are going to be an issue in terms of things like radio play. But fuck them.
They have got more lenient. Like I've started to hear some F-bombs occasionally on the radio.
Yeah. And you can always have like a radio version or something if you want to do that too. But
you've got some of them out.
It's the kind of stuff that I think is really going to have a broad enough appeal that it will capture, the attention of people that are, like Kyle, who's just in and around the fucking music scene all the time and that's always keeping an eye out for cool shit. But then also sooner or later, it's going to just kind of start catching on with just the general music listening public in a way that, I think not that many other bands have a chance of doing. So I genuinely, I think that there's a really, really, like I said, really, really good chance that in a few years' time, you guys are going to be like making significant waves if you keep up doing what you're doing, because it's the right, the hard work's there, the musicianship is there, and there's enough of that thinking outside the box that it's going to, it's going to hit people in a way that they're not used to. And that's how you stick in their mind. So really, really great work there from that. And, I appreciate you guys taking the time to chat to us today.
Sure.
Before we wrap the podcast up, is there any like sort of special announcements, any specific things people should keep an eye out for from you guys in the next few weeks?
Man, music videos, big time. We want the Dickhead one coming out in like week or two, somewhere around there.
That quick.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
We don't fuck around at Camp Fizz.
That's what I'm talking about.
So it'll probably be dropping then around about probably within a couple of days either side of this episode going out then. So if you're hearing this episode or you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't already, we're going to have links to all of the Fist social media profiles and stuff down in the description. So go and follow them. Go and check out the website too, because it's a very, very schmick looking website. And go and check them out on the socials so you can keep on top of what they're doing, because they're going to have, it sounds like there's going to be a lot of shit coming out from these guys this year. So yeah, you'll want to be on board with that, I think. But yeah, look, thank you so much, guys. Really, really appreciate that. We will have Quick Question Quarter and Get in the Bin coming on the weekend, so make sure you check that out. If you've listened to this far into the episode or watched this far into the episode, firstly, thank you very, very much for sticking with us. And hey, why not hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed? You've clearly enjoyed this episode enough and this fucking all of this bullshit enough to watch this far. Hit that subscribe button. Makes a world of difference.
Don't hit it. Fist the subscribe button.
Fist the subscribe button. Yes. And
do it or I'll fucking kill you. I will. I'll find you.
Yeah. Yeah. Meth Rogan is coming for you. It's the meme now. Meth Rogan's not real. He can't hurt you. Meanwhile,
we're gonna hurt him with that one every week.
Oh my God. Sorry. Genuinely though, I am sorry for what I have unleashed with that. But yeah, thank you so much everybody for watching. I have been Reverend Raff. This has been the Beer Buddy, Kyle and Rowan and Josh from Fist. Go and check them out. Follow them. Check out all their music. Listen to the whole fucking live album because there's a lot of songs on that. There's a lot of songs on that thing.
Some great covers too.
And we will catch you guys next time. Peace out.
Peace.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We really hope you had a good time. If you did, please consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell down there. It helps the channel grow. We are still a fairly young channel and we like to try and grow our audience all over the world. We do also, for those of you who are interested, have a Patreon. It's just a couple of bucks a month. At the moment, you get all the videos early and ad-free, but we are working on ways to increase the value of that and make it a bit more enticing. So don't forget to keep an eye out and check back on what's going on over there. Other than that, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.